Kia ora, I'm Callum Stewart, the National Genetics Manager for PGG Wrightsons. What you see here today is actually a real unique opportunity for PGW to be involved in a business that has diversity, a full range of commercial property, stud property, and we go from hill country right down to flat. The beauty about that is testing genetics that are functional for the environment, the consumer demands, and ensuring that we have the ability to make it work. And how do we do that? We do it through sheep genetics, we do it through cattle genetics. And Ranui offers that like no tomorrow. It is very unique on a big scale. They get tested in an environment. The trick is getting the data, getting the phenotype, and finding the balance and ensure that you are buying functional species from all around.
It was 1920, my grandfather brought a line of Hereford cows, and about 3 years later, one of those cows was roan in colour, and about 3 years later she produced a white heifer calf. So from there on he then decided it was to pursue what he could get out of it, and he ended up building up a herd of white Herefords. A little bit of research he did. It goes back to the 1800th century where there were white Herefords registered in the UK. The white Herefords have created some uniqueness. It's something that I've become quite passionate about. I was given my first heifer calf, white heifer calf, when I was about 7 years old and took it to pet day. So from there on it's always created some interest from having this white calf. And basically from there I've tried to continue breeding, and it's just one of these things that it's unique, and I've enjoyed the challenge, but our gene pool is so small now because there aren't any out there. That's where the challenge is. So there's possibly a little bit of line breeding or inbreeding going on, but that can work to our favour too though. The goal is obviously to try and grow this herd. I'd like to continue running at about 30 cows, and the market's an interesting one because we actually sell them into the dairy industry. The dairy farmers seem to enjoy them because they actually produce a white face, but you get blues and roans, and obviously that creates a bit of uniqueness, and it's been like that for a long time. So we've got people that have come back to us on a regular basis buying bulls, and we've actually just started to sell some semen as well, which is now starting to gather a little bit of momentum. I had a call from a chap that's brought white Hereford bulls of us in the past, and he purchased 150 straws of white Hereford semen the other night. So it's pretty exciting to think that we're actually, after all these years, we're gathering a little bit of momentum again. We run the white Herefords up at our top property, which is Rangitatau. That climbs up to about 2,000 feet. These cattle are just easy doing cattle. They survive just being tossed out in the hills and kind of told to defend for themselves. Obviously the white Herefords are out there doing their own thing and having to, with any luck, have the calf get on with it and come in with the calf. But once we've weaned, or once mating's over, then they're just combined in with the Angus, and we do get a few unusual looks because we have black ones and we have white ones. So, but it creates an interest. We're running 120 registered Angus cows up here. We're in the process of calving. It's just drawing to an end now. And down at Karamu, there's 160 cows down there. So we've calved down 280 cows this year. Alongside that, we also will trade steers. So we're up to from 60 to 80 head of steers, buying in at 18 months, which is where they're coming in as a pasture management tool. This property also runs 3,000 ewes, which are all to the Romney ram, and our ewe lamb replacements are picked from here and are sent straight down the road at weaning time, which is about the middle of January. They go down. So we're actually still lambing here at the present. We lamb later to suit the grass growth. We're working on the growth being around the middle of October, so we don't start lambing until the 1st of October. On the home property, we Karamu, we run another 2,000 ewes down there, which is our hoggets and our 4 and 5 year old ewes, which all go to the terminal sire. Those rams there are bred down at Karamu, and they are Hampshire with a bit of a cross, maybe a south down through them, just to give a bit of thickness. So we've found if we use them ourselves, it's giving a little bit of proof to how they're yielding. The aim is obviously all lambs are killed off mother the best we can, and the lambs from here that we finish will go down onto that bottom property to be finished on crops. The mating program here on both properties is pretty intense. There's a lot of AI, so the early cows at Ringatata are AI'd, and all the replacement yearling heifers on both properties are synchronised and AI'd as well. We will probably do in the vicinity of 300 inseminations this year, and then as well on top of that we're also doing an embryo program, so we've got 50 odd Hereford Friesians that we're going to use as replacements, and we'll be filling them up with embryos. So yeah, we're expecting a pretty good number of calves on the ground for next year.